just gonna
Eu não vou lhe ajudar.
Mi kom dere blir. En nu valjordam.
Fleet upgraded.
Mi kom dere blir.
Complete.
Mi kom dere blir.
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be episode 2 of our Star Trek New Horizons Let's Play. What has gone on so far briefly since the last time that we were on. I did have a slight save issue. I had to save from a little, or continue from a little bit further back than I had intended, but as our suggestion from Kyle toward the end of the last stream, at the point where I had the ability to join somebody with the coalition, I brought in the Andorians here first instead of the Vulcans, because he had suggested it, so that's what I went ahead and went with. So I've got them in a coalition with us, which we're expanding here slightly to where we're going to have merged borders and working on the Vulcans and the Tellarites right now, and the Andorians don't really get along. So for the moment, they're not wanting to play nice, but we can work on that as we go along. I'm going to go ahead, I had the game paused, I'm going to go ahead and unpause it. I had just sent the Vulcans an invite to association status, which we'll check and see how if they want to even be associated with us or not, and then get moving along. So I went ahead and unpaused it, and it looks like, well, they accepted the association status, and then they went ahead and went with a full invite to the coalition. So we've got the Andorians, the Vulcans, and the humans now forming a coalition, which is pretty much the beginnings of the Federation, the first go-around. Alright, I do want to say hi to my nephews and their friend, because they're watching. Love you boys, miss you. And we'll be playing along for a little while here tonight. Alright, it looks like we've got a little bit of a situation coming up here. Whenever one of these pop up, it automatically pauses our game. When anybody's able to get into the stream whenever they're watching, if you are signed in and able to chat, if you just say hey in chat so I know you're here, I'll be sure to say hi back to you. And we've got two options here. It says the source of the chronoton particles appears to be traceable to a small vessel in orbit of Bernard's star. Sensors are unable to penetrate its hull, and it appears to be drifting. So we'll go ahead and hail them. The vessel responds to the hail. Captain Yun Orang, please move about 1 meter to your right. Confused, the captain moves aside as a human materializes on the bridge. Excellent. Now, my name is Professor Adrian Sheffin, and I have traveled back in time 2 centuries to study the crew of the USS Tradewind. The exploits of the ship and its captain are legendary in my time, he says. Interesting. So do I assist him or refuse to be studied? We'll go with assist. And it looks like Adrian Sheffin's time on the Tradewind is difficult for many of the crew. A constant stream of questionnaires and his not-so-subtle condensation do little to ingratiate, which means show gratitude toward. After a while, several members of the crew have noticed a number of items going missing, typically in parts of the ship that Adrian Sheffin has been visiting. So it looks like he's been stealing, so we'll go ahead and inquire politely. Panicking, he activates an emergency transport to a shuttle, unable to prevent the beam out. The captain orders a grappler placed on the shuttle. The shuttle disappears in a burst of chronoton particles. He was a thief, and a rude one at that. He left. Alright, what we have here is the edge of the galaxy. We've got Vulcan space, Andorian space. This is United Earth space, and then this is Tellarite space. Mine just expanded a little bit. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Earth. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are greatly underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable life-bearing worlds. So we'll do a survey on that. I agreed. Let's see, we have a ship not doing anything. Oh, okay, and it's because we've just finished construction of the outpost in Bernard's star. So we're going to go ahead and build some research stations out here. And then we're going to take a look at this and build a defense platform on that space station. So what this game is, for any new viewers, if you haven't seen the previous stream, it's a real-time strategy game that takes place in the Star Wars universe, which is our universe, but just with, in the future. The Anarxy civilization has been encountered. We have detected the presence of an alien civilization on Axnar in the Epsilian Iridani system. There appear to be in the early space age, as evidenced by their many primitive satellites orbiting their homeworld. Their nation-states are on the path towards joining together in a global government, and it is likely only a matter of time before they venture beyond their world and join the galactic community. We should consider building an observation post above their world to study them more closely. Interesting. That sounds like a good idea. That's where here. On further investigation, the capsule's orbit is rapidly decaying, drawing it closer and closer to Bernard's star. The USS Tradewind does not adjust the capsule's orbit with its grappler, it will certainly be destroyed. We'll go ahead and fix it. The USS Tradewind's chief engineer successfully modified the capsule's orbit with the grappler. The captain leads an away team aboard. Confirming the capsule to be of human origin, she discovers a number of ancient cryogenic habitation chambers. Several appear to be occupied. Further investigation reveals that the capsule occupants were all declared dead hundreds of years prior, though the Tradewind's doctor believes they can be revived and cured with modern medical techniques. They were dead? They were believed dead and then brought back while they were in cryogenic stasis? It would seem if they were put in cryogenic stasis like that, it was specifically for the purpose of them being able to be healed later, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. After the cryogenic chambers were brought back to the USS Tradewind and the capsule occupants thawed out, they appear eager to begin their lives in a new century, and arrangements are made for their return to Earth. Fair enough. One of the capsule's occupants appears to have been a talented administrator prior to being stored, and has offered their services to United Earth. Oh, fantastic. So I think we just picked up a leader there for free. This construction ship's finished over here at Wolf 359. There's the Iridani. That's where that primitive species is right there. So I'm going to send this construction ship down here to go ahead and build an outpost, and then we'll build a observation point above that as well. Are they working better? Nope. No, Vulcans and the Andorians don't like them. Interesting. Our Prime Minister's leveled up, and that's finished its construction. The Tradewind's finished that, so let's go ahead and move over here, get a little bit closer to them again. That's still building those stations. Oh, looks like we've got some stuff on Earth. I'm going to pause it real quick because we also got a research that's ready on Earth. This is the Governor of Earth, Miss Kobayashi. And then this is the people on Earth. This game is about to have an update coming out that's going to completely rework the way that the planets go and the way that they operate. I'll be putting out a basic introduction to the crossover video whenever it does go live, and how that affects this specific game in that update, because again, this is a mod on top of the Stellaris base game called New Horizons, but it is not the actual game. So there will be two rather different situations going on, one being the actual mods take on the new system, and then the game's transition from this system to that in the first place. If you will bear with me one brief moment, I'll be right back, everyone. Alright, sorry about that delay. I had to take care of my daughter real quick, but she's settled and back in bed, and we will continue here. Alright, now these little icons popping up show that there's been a population grown on Earth that doesn't have a building to work in, and that's going to be her. If you see all of the other ones, there's a person and then a building next to them, and that's what their job is. She doesn't have one, so she was just working off the land, basically. It's an energy, so the way that currently works is it'll generate 3 energy, and I can put a power plant on it to make it generate an additional 3, which will give us a total of 6 off that spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And see, now those both disappeared. Now we're going to go back over here to Mars, and Mars is the same thing, so that person's working without it. Anything there. And this can be upgraded, so now it's been upgraded, but I'm not going to put anything there because I know that's where the terraforming machine for Mars is going to go, so I'm just going to leave that like it is. The Interstellar Academy has been finished. This is where my scientists work on the research, so we're going to pick which one. We want the science station. That'll get our ships running better, faster. And then what do we have here? Oh, she doesn't have a building, but yeah, see, it hasn't been completed yet, so it doesn't show up here yet. There's a array that you could put here that will begin to terraform the planet, and I haven't got the technology to research it yet. Finished that. Getting pretty close to them, so that's fine. Alright, phase cannon's been completed. I'm going to pause that for a brief moment. Go ahead and get this other warp engine going. Might give us a new type of ship. They've gotten a little bit closer. What do we have going on here? Alright, so he finished building that extension. Mining stations are done. Those base minerals have a requirement that they're paired with another thing, so I'm not able to do both, so we're going to go ahead and leave those for the time being. Delta Proponus, so I ended up going out further than it was supposed to. Build an outpost there, and you come survey the Sirius system. That wasn't supposed to be jumped over the way it was, but we'll fix it in a moment. Let that finish that way. The fleet can be upgraded. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fleet here. It's these 4 little ships. They're sitting in front of the sun right now, so that's why they're so bright, but these are all I have for defenses right now, are these 4 ships. Let's get them backing away a little bit, see. But I'm still working on getting better ships. Oh, shuttle pod, that'll work for something. We'll get that going. Alright, what do we have here? After a day in orbit of the Delta Orcus 3A, with no progress in locating the source of the unusual subspace readings, Captain Amy Saxton prepares to give the order to move on to the USS Franklin's next survey target. Moments later, the ship sensors detect a surge in subspace activity, followed by the appearance of an alien ship off the port bow. Hailing the vessel proves fruitless, and after several minutes of silent confrontation, the ship warps away. So do we follow it? Do we wait for it to return? Or do we leave orbit because we don't want a confrontation? Let's see. Oh, there we have my nephew has popped on. Is here in chat. Saying hi there to him. And then, let's see. He's using my brother-in-law's account. Alright, well then, boys, you can take a pick if one of you want to let him know. Do we want to follow the ship, wait for it to return, or leave orbit? Let me know what I should do there, Logan. Can I back? Okay, and I've still got this. I'm going to move this over here just so it's out of the way while we're waiting a little bit. And for the record, this is our galaxy. This is the galaxy we're really in. This is what it looks like. It's a big spiral galaxy. We've got the galactic core. That's where the highest concentration of like black holes and wormholes are. And then we're out here on this arm of the Milky Way. And Earth, which really is right here. Oh, that's our sun, not Earth. There's Mars. Here's Earth. And this is what Earth really looks like. Right, there's Africa. Asia's over here. There's Korea, China. That's India. That's Australia right there. Let's keep going around. There's the United States. Here's the East Coast. The Carolinas are here. This is the West Coast. California is right around here. That puts Arizona, New Mexico, and all the deserts right here in this big desert right here. Mexico, South America, the Antarctic, and the Arctic. The Arctic's right here. And that's where Santa Claus lives, right there. And then we've got Mars there, Earth's moon, right here. Luna, that's our moon. Follow it. Okay. Within minutes of the aliens entering warp, the USS Franklin's sensor lock on their vessel starts to deteriorate. That means we start to lose our ability to follow them. 5 minutes more and the ship has disappeared from sensors completely. The captain orders additional power to the sensors and another subspace disturbance is detected several light hours away. Arriving at the coordinates, the vessel appeared to be attempting to widen the disturbance through a tachyon emission of an unknown nature. However, the USS Franklin draws nearer, the emissions are cut. The vessel raises its shields and powers up what appears to be its weapon systems. Hail them, we do not want to fight. And it says, the Franklin's communication officer repeats on all frequencies a hail to the alien vessel. The bridge crew awaits response in tense silence and with the only hum of the ship's engines in the background. An alert chimes. The alien ship has powered its engines and has once again entered warp. Accepting the aliens do not wish to be contacted, the captain orders a course plotted to the next system. The physics department looks forward to reviewing the subspace data gathered during this encounter. So we ran across a new type of alien, but we don't know who they are. That's just fine, we'll leave them to their devices. There's nothing up here in our situation log for us to research about that, so we just wait and see. This is showing the starbase here, and Earth finished its construction. And that was the starbase finished the upgrades that I did there a minute ago. This is an unused facility, but I don't have any types left, so I'm just waiting to research something that I can expand my starbase with. And we're just continuing across this way. All of our researchers here have leveled up, because they're very, very smart, and that has finished construction there. While this is finishing surveying the Sirius system, because until it's fully surveyed, and you'll know it's surveyed whenever this white pop-up here comes up, then I can't continue to put an outpost there. So for the moment, I'm going to have this put up that observation point, the research stations, and some mining stations. And then when it's done there, it can come up over here. The scientist developed a new skill. I'll pause it for a brief moment. Yep, the governor and the scientist did. And I've got a new scientific research. We've got the transport or the escape pods. We're going to go with the escape pods for the time being. The fleet can be upgraded again. Mars has a building that can be upgraded, 3 of them, so all of them are on to the next level. And Earth has someone else that was born that, yep, recent immigrant, that's what that blue thing means. Yep, so she probably came in from Mars, because nobody likes Mars until it's terraformed. It's another power plant. Unpause that. Construction ship is waiting for the survey to finish here so that we can go ahead, let's see, pause this. A distress call has been detected originating from the Delta Orcus 3B in the Epsilon Eridani system. Dispatch a rescue mission. That's what Starfleet's for. Alright, we're going to pause it real quick. Epsilon Eridani, that's here. I'll need a scientist to do that. And they're too far away, so our scientist here is going to... Is this on a timer? Yeah, it's on a timer, so we need to do it now. So we're going to take the Franklin and bring it down here and have it research that. So it's going to come into the system, and it's going to figure out what the distress signal that came from this world is. So someone sent out a distress signal there, and we're going to find out why. While we have that going on, I'm going to take Alpha Fleet and I'm going to bring it to the Sirius system, so we're halfway there. So if something needs to go on, we can jump our fleet in for defensive purposes, but it's still close enough to Sol, where our home world is, that if we need to jump back to defend it for any reason, we can. So that's what we're going to do there. And then the construction ship. Alright, the Vulcan holy world of P'Jem appears to many on Earth to be a paradox. The Vulcan people claim to be innately logical, eschewing superstitions. However, at the heart of their culture are a number of rituals and beliefs that are distinctly religious in nature. By dispatching a cultural mission to the holy world of P'Jem, we may be able to understand our neighbors better. Yeah, that seems like a good idea, so we're going to go ahead and dispatch a cultural mission. So after they're done checking this out, I'm going to send them to P'Jem. Pause it real quick while we go over this, which is here, the system right here. And P'Jem is the home world of the Vulcans, so this is where our Vulcan friends are at, these guys. Go back to the surface. Actually, right there, the Vulcans. Hi, Aiden. Good to have you there. Yeah, I like this game too. It's a game that makes you think. At points, there will be enemy fleets, but here's the Vulcans. They are friends with us, and now they're members of this. But that fleet that I have, I'll make a much more productive fleet. But over here is the Borg, which are basically robot people. They're androids that assimilate people like ants, and they're very scary. And I'm gonna have to do a lot of research to get to good enough ships that I'll be able to fight them by the time they get down here, because they can come all the way across here. Just because this gap is here, our ships can go across that, so it'll be coming all the way down here. So I'm basically going to be making friends with everyone I can in this area to form a federation that will give us the ability to fight them by the time they show up. The Vulcans still don't like them, but I will continue to act as a buffer between the Vulcans and the Tellarites, and then eventually get them into our coalition as well. This one's almost done, and whenever this science ship finishes surveying this, I'm going to bring them over here to Sirius to have them, so that we can connect this, because the Franklin is going to be doing it. Oh, here, I've got an idea. Let's grab this other ship. We're going to do two things. One is I'm going to rename the Tradewin, the USS Turner, for my nephews. And then if the three of you together want to pick, let's name the captain of the Turner. Oh, I need to fix that. I made the whole thing capital, and I didn't mean to. Turner. There we go. Then you guys can pick the name of this captain right here, her. And we'll change her name to whatever you guys want it to be, as long as it's nothing. It has to be nice. But we have that unpaused, so the game is still going on, and we're letting the ships finish doing what they're doing while I have that science ship moving to investigate what's going on in this system. Okay. Yeah, I figured that what was going on, buddy. Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you watching, and you guys, if there's different people in here, every time I come up with a new ship, I'll let you name it. If you want, if all three of you pick a name for a ship each, not the name of the captain of the other one, but I'll let you name one of the 4 assault frigates that I have right now. Alright, we're paused because we got this distress call. Arriving at the source of the distress call. So let's go take a look, because it made it here. Go ahead. So the Franklin's now in orbit right there. above the planet, which is right there. After arriving at the source of the distress call near the Delta Orcus 3B, the USS Franklin has come across a freighter in the Earth Cargo Service. Answering the hail, the captain of the freighter apologizes for the inconvenience and clarifies that the distress call was accidentally triggered by a crewman performing a diagnostic on the ship's communications array. While United Earth Protocol is clear that such events should be followed up with an open channel all clear broadcast, it is up to the discretion of individual captains to decide how to administer such protocol breaches. So we can either just tell them it's an honest mistake, don't let it happen again, or we can impose a fine for the violation of the protocol. Seeing as this is still towards the beginning of what's going on and it was just a mistake, we're going to go ahead and just let it go. Alright. The Pilia wine will be the name of one of those. And we have another issue coming up with the Andorians, it looks like. Let's see, the Kalendor Scrolls. Greetings from the Andorian Empire, Prime Minister Nikolai Falcon. I wish it were not so, but I'm afraid I must request a favor from the human people. The Tellarite technocracy has long refused to return the Kalendor Scrolls from their rightful home on Andoria. Would you be willing to represent us in this matter? Okay, so they are arguing with, let's take a look here what's going on. I can't close it, but I'll show you in a minute. The Tellarites, which is these green guys right here, have a scroll that belongs to these blue guys here, and the blue guys want us to help them get it back, and yes, we will go ahead and do that. The Kalendor Scrolls, they were presented to the Tellarite first speaker shortly after our first contact with them. The Tellarite government has since betrayed us and claimed the temporary nature of the arrangement was never agreed. The scrolls have enormous cultural value as the earliest known documentation of modern Andorian political theory. Their presence on Tellar Prime is proven intolerable to many on Andoria. Yeah, of course, we will assist, so we're going to help them and get those back. That's why they won't let them probably into the coalition right now, is because they're arguing with them about who owns those scrolls. Now let's see, the Kalendor Scrolls. The Tellarite technocracy has once again refused to return the Kalendor Scrolls to Andoria despite our best efforts to negotiate on behalf of the Andorian Empire. Many across the Andorian Empire now feel that diplomacy has reached an end on the matter, with analysts on Earth fearing that conflict between the Tellarite and Andorian peoples may be close. That is a problem. So yes, we're going to have to try and make sure that, let's pause that again, they don't end up going to war, because that would not be allowed. Alright, we need to research either a police station, a biolab, or a frontier clinic. Frontier clinic, we don't have a colony world yet, so we don't have to worry about that just yet. A biolab is a better science station, and a police station stops there from being unrest on planets. But again, we've only got Earth and Mars, so that's not a concern as of yet. And then a better power core, gravity manipulation, or physics. We're going to go with the power core because we need to make sure our ships always have the power that they need. You can just finish building that. This has finished what it's doing, so it's going to come back here to the survey system. I'm going to put the fleet back to Earth because there was no fight here. I was just seeing what was going on there. That is finished, so doing this is going to get us closer to Tellarite space, and while this is going down and this way, so we'll go ahead and go up in this way. And let's come survey this system over here north of Bernard Star. And then there's a couple worlds at Alpha Centauri. We're actually going to go hit Alpha Centauri first, and then we'll come back there, see if maybe we can put a colony on any of these planets. Alright, let's unpause the game and let that go ahead and continue. Oh, and while that's going on and the fleet's moving, we're going to go ahead and grab this first one here. Inspect. And alright, so the USS Clark in the CC-3 is now going to be known as the USS Pilly OE WINE. There we go. NCC 03. The Paleowine is the flagship of Alpha Fleet. Alright, construction's been complete, so now this is touching, so we're all the way from here down to here. Once I finish construction of Sirius here, that's really going to put the gap so that we're touching on all sides between the Andorians, the Vulcans, and us. And then now we're touching the Tellarite, so hopefully we'll be able to get a better negotiation with them soon and brought into the Federation, or into our coalition, and then we'll form a Federation later. Yeah, and the Vulcans aren't happy with them because they won't give back the scrolls. These are the guys that have those scrolls that we were just reading about, and they won't give them back to the Andorians, which is making the Vulcans mad because they're friends. Call it one of them Philizon. Okay. The Magellan is now going to be known as the USS PHI Phil O Philizon, NCC 04. Alright, so that's the first two ships. We have the Curie and the Magellan that are still up to be renamed for the time being. Okay, the NX shuttle pod has finished. So we either have Minefield, our star bases, or exploit resource. We're going to go with the Minefield just because I can put that out there. Let this continue. Unpause it. Let that keep going. The construction ship. Alright, it's finished with the survey, so what we're going to have it do, and that is just build some mining stations in there. Where's this going? Okay, and that's finishing up here on Sirius. So once that's done, we'll have it continue moving down in this direction, past Vulcan space. Tellarites are looking around over here. I still have what I previously in the last episode, I negotiated with the Tellarites by going to offer trade deal, and then I offered them some energy credits and minerals and some of our information, and I got from them an active sensor link, and I did it for a full 30 years. So what that would have done, and research is done, but I'm going to explain what that means real quick, is anywhere their ships are, because of that trade deal that I did, I can see everything that their ships can see. So right now, because they're over here taking a look around, I can see that there's a few different worlds here. I won't get the survey data, like if my ship had surveyed it, but that'll at least I'll be able to see what's in the system. Alright, now power core is finished, so I'm going to take a look here. Got our optical computer, that gives us better targeting basically when it's done. It makes our ships a bit more accurate. The industrial fabricator makes our resource gain a bit more even, and then these unlock things that make our weapons do more damage, and I do know there's going to be a fight soon, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then here we have our society research, which is either going to be trading center, the hydroponics bay, or a party competition theory, and that's basically allowing us to negotiate with people and have them come around to our way of thinking so that we don't have to go to war with them if they try and, like, you know, if they're slavers and we need to tell them basically being a slaver is bad and you need to stop or you're going to pick a fight. Because playing as the Federation, we don't want to go to war with people if we can avoid it. We're going to try and talk to them. This little arrow means that something can be upgraded, so you just come down here and it's this biolab. That lab that we research now can get better, so it does. And then both of these platforms had a research that was done that make them better, and that's these platforms right here. If we go to the ship designer, we can go down, and then these are the platforms that I'm building. They're defensive platforms. They have phaser banks on either side. These ones right here. They don't shoot any torpedoes, but it adds a little bit of a punch. Speaking of which, did I already build one here? I did not. See, that's one of those right there. Every time we build a station, we want to build a defense platform, so if somebody jumps in to try and pick a fight with it, it can swing back. I gotta leave one for your brothers, Aiden. I've already got one from each of them. No, which one? Because I've got one from Shane and one from Aiden, so what's the name of Logan's ship? She's still awake. Alright, and the Kandor Scrolls. Rogue elements within the Andorian Empire military structure have taken it upon themselves to strike at Teller Prime to force the return of the Kolander Scrolls. While the Andorian Chancellor has condemned the attacks, many on Teller Prime refuse to separate the actions of the rebels from the government. So, some terrorists went down there and are picking a fight. Andorian nationalists. Can I get the fleet there in time to keep them from attacking? If I can put my fleet between... they're picking a skirmish. The Tellarites and the Andorians are fighting each other. Alright, quick pause here. The NX project, United Earth's ambitious plan to create a Warp 5 vessel, is still struggling. The original version of Zephyrin Cochrane, which began in 2119 with the foundation of the new faster-than-light research complex in Bozeman, Montana. Quick reference, that's the only interesting thing that'll ever be made in Bozeman, Montana. But it is now several decades old, and yet most of humanity's ships still crawl between the stars at Warp 2. Admiral Maxwell Forrest stares with distaste at the Vulcan ambassador Sobel. Earlier today, he was elated with the news of the successful launch of the earliest prototype of the NX project. Now it seems his day was becoming worse. With all due respect, Ambassador, Earth has a fleet now. Our Warp 4 engine was recently installed on the Franklin and the Admiral Buchan before being cut off. It was less than a decade ago when your Commander Robinson almost lost his life because of his reckless pursuit, Admiral. We simply advise caution, Stalin intoned. We still feel the NX project should be suspended, not forever, just for a few more years. I will pass your suggestion to Prime Minister Nikolai Falcon, and we're going to go with proceed with the NX project, because we're not waiting any longer to get the ship going. I'm going to pause this, because we have construction complete. We need to see what's going on here. Okay, so that's still just waiting, and that finished one of the other one. That's okay. Our ship is too far away, but their fleet is superior, so the Tellarite fleet will take care of this Andorian terrorist cell, but that's just going to make the negotiations between them worse, and we're trying to get them both on the same side with us, so that complicates matters. Got a couple more constructions complete there. That's finished everything it can do, so we'll go ahead and have it come over to the Alpha Centauri system. News that the Vulcan High Command was using its holy sites to hide covert listening posts has spread rapidly after a strike team of Andorian elite forces struck Pajim and a facility beneath the Vulcan monastery. The Vulcan High Command's reputation across the quadrant has suffered, while sympathy for the Andorian Empire has grown. So these people are messing with them, and these people are messing with them, and the Andorians are getting irritated by it. This is in the Alpha Centauri system. It's an anomaly. So what we're going to do is we will research it, but after the system's been surveyed, so we'll say survey the system and then research the anomaly. And you see it'll finish doing the survey, and then it's going to the 21st one all the way down here at the very bottom is investigate the research project there. So it'll finish surveying the system and then do the research project. We have someone on Earth that needs to be built here. This one, okay. Another power. Are there any mines that... No, all the mines have people on them. Okay. We have plenty of power. We're maxed out for power. We need more minerals. Nope. Okay, Loken's is Taco Hat. Alright, then I will... I don't know why the delay on one is more than the other. That's just the internet connection of the specific device you're on. Alright, where's the Taco Hat? That is going to be... Go back to the fleet. Let's grab the... We'll leave the Magellan alone. We'll grab the Curie. And it will become the Taco Hat. Taco Hat NCC 05. So one too many letters there. Taco Hat. There we go. The Collider skulls remain on Tiller Prime after attacks by rogue elements of the Andorian military were fended off by Tellarite forces. So that fight's over, so let's just go ahead and send you back to the Sol system. Another anomaly on Alpha Centauri, so just add that to the list of things that after you're done you can research. Franklin has finished that. Fantastic. Pause that. For several weeks now, United Earth Security has been attempting to trace a signal of illegal database hacks. The intrusions seem to have one thing in common. They have all targeted locations known to store classified historical information on the eugenics wars of the late 12th century, where genetically augmented humans nearly claimed total domination of the Earth. Why someone would want to dig up the ghosts of the past remains unknown. That is a direct reference to Khan, Suni, and Noon, and Khan from the Wrath of Khan movie, so hopefully I don't have to deal with augments soon. They're very, very powerful. Alright, we're going to build that our outpost connecting our Epsilon Darni system to Wolf 359, and that'll give us one continuous stretch of space. Our society research is finished, so okay, and see, here's the divergent path, and this gives us the ability to convert people from slavers to diplomats to where they'll stop enslaving. So we're going to want to take this for our negotiations later. And then we have a new physics research, which is either the command station and those consoles, our physics lab 2 or the transport hub, and we're definitely going to go with that. Alright, and yep, those are both at Alpha Centauri, and that one's saying Sirius is done, so we'll go ahead and let that continue. Our fleet's heading back to 001. Okay, so we can now put minefields around things for defensive purposes. I'm going to go ahead and build a new thing here. We'll go with the new torpedo, or we'll go with the new torpedo. And we understand how the mines work. The Franklin now has nothing to do, so you can come and do that. And then we'll start coming down this stretch toward the bottom here. So they're both researching. Oh, the Starbase has another upgrade kit available to it. Mars, yeah, we're waiting to do that until that research is done, and I can build that. What's the word I'm looking for? The terraforming site. Otherwise, I'll have to tear down whatever building I put there and put another one. Oh, and here's the augments. Augmented realities. The research station orbiting Delta Orcus has gone silent, missing several scheduled check-ins. Unknown to the public, the station is one of 2 across United Earth space still carrying frozen embryos of genetically augmented humans. These remnants from the eugenic wars have been kept hidden for over a century, though now it appears that secrecy has been undone. Send a military team to investigate. So now that's... Oh, let's pause this real quick. I have to have a military ship in orbit, so now we officially need to send First Fleet, or the Alpha Fleet. So, cold stations, yep, so we're sending it here to research that, research and system. So we're sending Admiral Owen here, Admiral Bree Owen of Alpha Fleet, and our fleet of frigates here, the highly esteemed Pillowine, Filzon, and the Taco Hat, must not forget the Taco Hat, to investigate. So we'll see what's going on there. If anyone's ships get destroyed, I apologize. Alright, Starbase is upgraded, construction there's been done. Oh, okay, let's see here. The NX Project. Now, what the NX Project is that is the program that ends up leading to the construction of the Enterprise, the Federation's first flagship, and from that point on, the continuing flagship of Starfleet. It has been a long road. 2 years after the successful test flight of the NX Zeta, Earth is celebrating laying the keel of her very first Warp 5 vessel, Starfleet's first true flagship, the NX Light Cruiser class Enterprise. But while technology has progressed at a breakneck speed, realizing the dreams of scientists such as Archer, Tulaski, Cochrane, and the Vulcans continue to warn humanity that it is not ready for the perils that face them in deep space. Their political pressure can be felt throughout the industrial sector on Earth. The project's resources are quickly dwindling, and many employees of the Warp 5 complex have been reassigned to different projects. While the Enterprise hull floats proudly in space dock, in truth it is but an empty shell. Analysts and military strategists are forced to admit they cannot estimate when this ambitious project will be completed. The success of the project is vital. The Enterprise is more than a test bed for the latest experimental propulsion and weapon technologies, but a symbol of the hopes and dreams of humanity. And we have two options. We can accelerate the project or continue it at the current pace. Continuing it doesn't cost us anything. If we accelerate it and we get a special project, a new Enterprise, it'll cost us 500, which we have 604 minerals. So obviously we're going to go ahead and do that. And then go over here, go to the new Enterprise Special, and I'm going to begin research. Oops, keep that pause. And that will go for exactly 1 year by this calendar up here in the top right. And then we're going to get our Enterprise. And then this fleet is on its way there. You know, I may want to wait for the Enterprise to finish, because I've got 660 days, so that's a little over 2 years for this. So I may tell Alpha Fleet to stand down until the Enterprise finishes construction, and then it can go over there with them to go take a look at what's going on. So how about that? And then let's get this is finished, because now, as you see, we have the start of our space is connected, and I've got this taking a look at this system and Alpha Centauri, which is going to widen our middle by a good bit. And then we'll continue going in this direction, but that's all going on right now. We've got Alpha Fleet still sitting over here. So while that's going on, I'm going to have it build... Oh, we can't build the mining stations just yet. Well, at least not all of them, but what I can do... Let's grab this construction ship. This one's 3, but I can't build it, because the reason I can't build it is because I don't have a Latinum mine researched yet, or dilithium. Yeah, so we're going to go over here, but I can build one of these. So we're going to select that and build one of those mining stations. And then go ahead and let that continue for the moment while the Enterprise is finishing. Yeah, see, we're already rolling right along. Alright, and right now it's just us, but there's other civilizations in every cranny of this map. So as we continue to expand and explore, we'll come across more and more people. Oh, and there's another anomaly. It's challenging right now. All of the previous ones have shown the difficulty here, and it's been routine. Alright, that paused it. Xeno Relations Technology Breakthrough. Our Prime Minister has found a leading team of researchers advanced studies into non-human behavioral trends. They're pleased to announce that they've made a substantial breakthrough, offering us a number of potential applications to pursue. Let us know which of the following avenues they wish to develop. So we've got interstellar trade, or Ministry of Intelligence, but we can't be xenophiles for that. That's fine, so we'll go with interstellar trade. And then we're going to put this at leave B for now, because none of our scientists are a high enough skill to be able to do this without a high chance of losing. So we're just going to leave that alone for now. We'll come back to it. And now we need to research another society. Do we want our bunker, division headquarters, and ground to space weaponry, some more edicts, or the frontier clinic? They're all still 275, and they all unlock something. So we're just going to go with that one, because they're all going to have to be gone through. Did he already finish that one? It looks like he did. Yep, so we're just going to go ahead and send him over here and build that mining station. And it's what that does is those stations, that's the amount, the little number it shows is the additional amount you'll get a month. So right now I'm down to 23 and I've only got 50, but when it's done with that, I'll get an additional 25 a month every time that rolls over, and it builds up pretty quick. And then he's finished. Yeah, he's just sitting there, he's waiting for this to finish. How much does that cost? Starbase. Okay, so we'll be able to build an outpost soon. We just can't right now, but they haven't finished surveying that anyway, so that's fine. That research is done. Let's take a look what's going on here. Optical computer. That's probably what we're going to go with this time. Yeah. Let's wait for that to finish. Seeing the Tellarites are still going around over here. Let's see. After a long time in the depths of space, Captain Amy Saxton has begun to find it hard to recall her original purpose. The lives on the crew of the Franklin have become route and routine. Others might aim for this model of efficiency, but for Starfleet, the morale and well-being of a crew are paramount. Captain Amy Saxton has started to consider organizing crew activities to provide a break from the mundane. Yeah, that's definitely something we should do. And our Alpha Fleet has a little Z thing here showing that they're not orbiting a planet, which means they're taking up a little bit more money, but they're also not moving, and that's because I stopped them while they were on route down here, because the Enterprise was not finished yet, but it's... Oh, this is... okay. I need a scientist here. That's down here as well, so where's that at? You come research this, because there's a... no, is it in this one? Oh no, okay, it's here. Go to... it's right there. There we go. Alright, so that's researching. I didn't realize it had to be right there. Okay, so that's being done. Where'd that go? Alright, we've got the observation point. So this is the Axanar. This is that planet that is on the cusp of space age, and they'll eventually make their way to being a space age world, and when they do, they'll pop up here, and then they'll be a member of the Federation as well. And they're still waiting for that to be finished. We'll unpause the game, let that run along. That construction's done. And he might just have enough. Nope, still can't quite build that. Oh, what do we have here? We're starting to sound angry again. Maybe you need another treatment. What I need is to get out of this cell. I've been locked in here for days. You've controlled my every move. You've told me what to eat, and what to think, and what to say, and when I show a glimmer of independent thought, you strap me down, you inject me with drugs, you call it a treatment. The organization of an amateur dramatics group aboard the USS Franklin has proven a welcome distraction for the crew. Okay, so they put on a show. Nice. Alright, Franklin, where'd it go? Okay, it finished what it was doing, so now you can go back to surveying the system. It finished what it was doing. Let's go down here, and well, I have another mine I can build. I don't need any more research stations, because I can't build that one with this. Mining station, where's the... there it is. Nope, I can't. I don't have anything for any of that. Power is maxed and fine, so we don't need to waste that right now either. So you come over there. How far till the Enterprise is done? It's almost done. It's about to finish. And then we'll send them both to go deal with that. There we go. And there's the Enterprise. Alright, now I'm going to move the Admiral to the Enterprise from the fleet, but she can command both from there. Enterprise and Alpha Fleet. And go ahead and come investigate this. So now they're going to go take a look at those augment things together. Oh, Alpha Fleet needs an upgrade first, so let's let them take care of that. Oops. The United Earth Embassy on Vulcan has been the target of an unsuccessful terrorist attack. Several hundred human and Vulcan casualties have been reported. Domestic violence is almost unheard of on Vulcan, and no groups have yet claimed responsibility. However, many on the Vulcan Bashar intelligence service believe the bombing to be the work of the Serenite movement, a group dissatisfied with the Shatak administration's foreign policy. Yeah, no, we're going to investigate because it happened on Earth, so we're going to send the... They have formally approved our request to dispatch a team. Alright, so they are okay with us coming and poking around, so we're going to send the Franklin to research immediately. Nope, some research is done. Let's check and see what's going on there. Ah, our torpedo is finished. Intrepid type light cruiser. Alright, so this is a new type of cruiser that we're in the process of unlocking. That'll give us a new ship, which is good. Research naval capacity or leader lifespan. We're going to go with naval capacity and bring up the amount of ships that we're allowed to have, so that once we have those new ships, we have room to build them and be able to support them with our economy. There's levels for the ships, in the sense that as they go along, like that new ship that I'm going to get, I'll have higher technology levels for it, which will make it more powerful and more potent, basically. But there's not a level that my Federation's going to hold, because I'm going to end up being a group of multiple planets, like hundreds of planets, thousands of or millions of people. But the ships won't gain levels, but they will upgrade. As I unlock new technologies, they'll upgrade. That's what every time... One second, I'll show you. Transport hub, energy storage, transport hub. It was the lowest one remaining of a low system, so it needs to be done, because it was also part of any of the ones that have this picture of the blueprints with a lock next to it are part of a technology tree, so it has to be researched for the ones past it to be able to be researched. And because this is 275, it does not take much, and it is so low, we're going to take care of that one first. That's why I picked that. But this right here is basically meaning the fleet can level up or it can upgrade, because now I have new technologies that it hasn't used yet, so that's being done there. And now it's been upgraded, and I'm going to send it to catch up with the Enterprise, which is heading down here. Yeah, see, and now it's going down there to catch up with the Enterprise. And we're just going to have you stop, because I don't want it starting that process. No, you just chill. I put it on a passive, so it won't attack unless it's been attacked, and I'm just having it wait there until the fleet gets there, because whatever's going on, I don't want the Enterprise picking a fight on its own. I can't lose the flagship. Alright, the research station on Delta Orbit has been destroyed, and with it many leads on who is responsible. Other sites across the United Earth holding materials relevant to the eugenic wars have been put on alert. Oh, so it took too long. The Enterprise was originally designed to be the flagship of Starfleet, but until recently has served in a more frontline capacity. Starfleet Command has decided that it is going to change. The Fleet Maneuvers exercise will involve dozens of Starfleet civilian ships, as well as friendly delegates from nearby empires. The Enterprise will take part in several simulations of likely scenarios, from tracking down pirates using grid search to aiding freighters under attack. This training exercise is truly a crowning moment for the NX project. The goal is not only to improve Starfleet readiness, but to allow the knowledge that the Enterprise crew has gathered through real usage to be disseminated throughout the fleet. The Enterprise was a test bed of many prototype technologies that have proven themselves ready for wider use. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do that. That's a special research. This one, so I'm going to go have them start researching that. I'm going to slow this down to normal speed so that this embassy bombing is still being... Yeah, that research ship is on its way to the 40 Iridani system, which is where Pajim and Vulcan is. There's Vulcan right there. And so they're going to do the investigation to make sure that that's being looked into. Earth has somebody who doesn't have a world. This guy. It's an engineering lab that I can put there. Took care of that. I need the research here. It's one of these ones in engineering research, I believe. So I think it's a physics one, so that I can start terraforming Mars and then other worlds when it gets to that point. construction ships. He's still waiting for that to finish. Alpha Centauri's done, so build a starbase. That's going to expand that. And now he's doing that anomaly. He's just waiting for that one to get done. Alright, so Alpha Centauri is about to join our little blue group here. Are you guys working better with anybody? No? No, the Vulcans still don't like them. They're still picking fights with them, and they're picking fights with them. No one else is getting along. They're all bickering amongst each other. Like a bunch of children. There is a comparison though. It's not levels like you might think, but when you get down here, whenever I click on another race, it gives us a this is the relative power, so ours is equivalent. So we have like the same fleet and the same technology. So if we got into a fight, we would be equal. So it would come down to tactics, not like technological superiority. So it'd come to who directed their fleets better, and that is one way of judging. Like theirs is going to be, I can't communicate with them because they're that was the ones that are still pre-space. But seeing theirs is equivalent. It should be equivalent with everyone right now. Vulcans may be superior. Yeah, the Vulcans still have better technology and ships than us. So if like I went full left field and picked a fight with the Vulcans right now, I would have to be much better in tactics to be able to win, because all of their ships are superior to mine. But I don't want to do that because the Vulcans are friends with us. Whenever we made our very first warp flight, like our ship first went faster than this speed of light here from Earth, that's what that NX project was, the Vulcans were the ones who noticed and come to say hi. So like the Vulcans were our first, you know, space friend. They're the ones that we made first contact with. And then they introduced us to the Andorians, who they've kind of been bickering with for a little while. Alright, the cruiser's almost done here. That's going to be a ship that we're going to be happy to have access to, but we can do our research a little bit faster, or we can research one of these other ones. In the meantime, neither one of these are like 100% need to be done right this moment, so I am going to do the research speed just so in the future our physics research is going to be just a little bit faster, which is good. Is this done yet? Can you do anything? No, it's not done. And, oh, look, and Alpha Centauri is now within our space because we've got that outpost there. And I'm going to go ahead and have it build all the mining stations so that we can get some additional minerals going on as quickly as possible. And this is still waiting for that to get done because it's on its way over here to Vulcan. This is, so that's why it's doing nothing right now. But there's another mine that can still be done down here in the Sirius system. Where? Can I mine this? No. Oh, it must be talking about the power plants. Yeah, it still counts the power plant as a mine. I'm not worried about that. I've got a surplus of power. I don't need any more until I get some of the other mines taken care of. USS Turner's sensors have locked on to the vessel it landed. It is loaded capacity with minerals and its engines appear dead. An automated distress signal loops every 78 seconds. Captain Yun orders a channel open and introduces herself. A short, rotund alien appears on the view screens. The alien replies, "You have broadcast the distress signal." We don't have a ship to be able to use for that right now because we have to send the Franklin down here to the Iridani system, and then the Turner, that's the Turner's over here taking care of the research on outside Alpha Centauri, so we're just not dealing with those people right now. Somebody's shown up to Earth that doesn't have a place to work. This guy. Let's see, and we've constantly got more mines going here with the power, so our scientists have leveled up again. The scientists have levels. The people in the game have levels. so there is that. Like our researchers here, she's a skill level 2 out of 5. He's a skill level 2 out of 5, and she's a skill level 2 out of 5. And then Admiral's on the Enterprise now. The Admiral's a level 1. She hasn't been in any fights yet, so she doesn't have any experience. And then our scientists, the scientist of the Franklin is our most experienced, so a level 3 scientist. So she's our most advanced scientist, and the captain of the Turner. So they are the two most advanced, and that's probably why we have them on the spaceships. Okay, see, our cruiser is done, so let's take a look here. The NX Class Explorer and Long Range Explorer, that's going to be upgrading the Enterprise and the ships like it, so we are going to go ahead and do that next. But first, let's see, the fleet can be upgraded again, so we're going to take care of that. Because that's done anyways. Let's go ahead and send the Enterprise back there as well, because that research we didn't get there in time for, which does happen, because right now we only have this one fleet in the Enterprise, so that happens. But we'll send Alpha that way. Alright, but now, our people are currently working to, what's the word I'm looking for here? Elect a new leader. These people are all running for president. Current president is Nikolai Falcon down here, and he is not carrying the thing because it's a 3-way tie, and they're all at 25%, but it's it goes around. I'm going to support. Yeah, see, and that bumps him up to 40% over 20. I supported him once, and that. Going to go ahead and make sure that he stays, because I don't want I wanted to make sure that she didn't end up leaving the Franklin to come become president, because then I wouldn't have a scientist to replace her, because he can't become a scientist, but anybody can become president, so he can just stay president, and she could have done it and I wouldn't have cared because they could have switched, but only a scientist can continue commanding the Franklin, so that needed to stay the way it was. Or that other diplomat could have replaced her, or replaced him, but not from there. Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing, ship designer. Alright, now we're going to go, the last thing we were looking over here was the drone, our defense satellite, but now we're going to go to that and go to Intrepid type, a light cruiser. This is our new ship type, the one we just got. This is our light cruiser, which we'll take a better look at, but we've got our heavy weapon emplacement, our light cruiser, and our torpedo barrage. The heavy weapon emplacement's like an artillery piece, so we are going to make one of those, but first we're going to build our normal cruiser. This is going to be the backbone of our fleet for the time being. It's goofy looking because it's still a first age ship, so this is when Earth was just getting off the ground, but it's still a nice little ship, better than anything you'd see in the original series. And I've got auto generate turned off, and so the first thing we're going to do is have it auto complete, and it's using all of the best equipment that we have, except for right here, and this is why we're doing it ourselves and not having the thing made itself, is we're going to take this tactical station, bring it over here, because right now it's just got power supply and we have more than enough power. It just has to be positive, doesn't need to be 219 positive. So we're taking this tactical station, which gives us +1 penetration or damage to shields, armor, and weapons on enemy ships, and then this we're going to go ahead and it gives us better hit tracking and science console. So we're putting a tactical station and a science station in, and then we're going to go ahead and put in a command station. So we've got the stations in, and these just give overall bonuses to the ship's ability. We're going to auto upgrade, so if any better pieces come in, it automatically replaces it. And then this is combat disengagement chance or during bombardment. Okay, and this allows that. That's fine. So we're going to leave that, and then what are we going to call this thing? We're going to call it a Archer class, A-R-C-H-E-R. He was the name of the first Enterprise captain. Alright, and now we're going to build one more real quick. We're going to switch over to this heavy weapon emplacement and switch down here, go to autocomplete, because it fills those in with what it needs. And that gives us this thing, which is a heavy pulse cannon. That's like a sniper, and that is set to sniper, right? No, that's picket. Skirmishing, no. Sniper. And this changes the way the ship acts, and we want this thing sitting way back because it's got long-range weapon with this thing. See, its range is 50. Yeah, and this one has it sit back. Because that's 50, but our light cruiser's weapons... that one's range is only 20, and this one's range is only 20. So this one's a lot closer, so that's why this needs to be picket. So it'll run up and fight with them, but that other one needs to sit back so that these and our frigates here stay up close, and then we've got well, we have to come up with a name with these things, because that one's the archer, so this one we'll call the lancer, which is going to be our long range, the artillery piece for the fleet. Alright, so that's been finished. I've got a little bit of room here, and that fleet still has plenty of room, so what we're going to go ahead and do is go to our start base, go here to our shipyard. I don't have enough money. Alright, so we're gonna have to save up another 300 minerals, but then we're gonna build a one of those light cruisers while the Enterprise and Alpha Fleet are on their way back. Alright, if you guys all agree on a name, you can name the first light cruiser when it comes out. After several hours of searching, the crew of the USS Turner seem about to give up the search for the mysterious signal. However, the science officer detects a very subtle shift in subspace that indicates the presence of an object hidden in plain sight. The science officer suggests that a concentrated tachyon emission from the USS Turner's main deflector dish may be sufficient to reveal the object, as the subspace shift bears many similarities to existing cloaking technology. So we activate the beam and see what happens, or just tell it to go away. No, we're explorers and we like looking into things, so we're going to see what's going on. Alright. The tachyon burst successfully reveals the object. It appears to be similar in function to a human probe, complete with some sort of cloaking technology to hide it from most attempts at detection. Upon sensing that it has been discovered, the probe attempts to activate a self-destruct mechanism, no doubt a safety measure to prevent acquisition. The quick thinking of the USS Turner's tactical officer, however, places a low-intensity phaser discharge into the source of the power spike sufficient to disable but not destroy the probe. So it tried to self-destruct, and one of our people knocked it out before it was able to do so. The probe is tractored into the cargo hold, where the USS Turner's science and engineering teams can examine it. After several hours, they believe they have accessed its main memory core and the data contained within. The probe itself appears to be ancient, so much so that the species that launched it may no longer exist. The data is corrupted and heavily fragmented, but the crew is able to piece together a portion of the probe's navigational memory. So most of the information on it was lost, but we were able to get some star charts. That'll work. Here we have the United Earth, that's the Andorians and the Vulcans. Eventually, these two are going to stop fighting with each other and the Tellarites, and we'll get them all to join with us into one federation. The Turner has finished that, so we're going to go ahead and have... Oops, one second. The research station orbiting Wolf 359 has gone silent. In an apparent repeat attack on the station orbiting Delta Orcus, United Earth strategists urge immediate response to prevent a repeat of the disaster. Okay, so that has happened. We're going to leave this paused. The fleet is here and here. I'm going to go ahead and get both of them and come and research this. So we're sending them Alpha Fleet and the Enterprise. So Alpha Fleet and the Enterprise come and research. There. They're on their way. The Enterprise and Alpha Fleet are on their way to go investigate, and whenever Alpha Fleet finishes, it'll return to Earth for upgrade, because it does have a refit that can be done. Moving to Earth, arriving in 10 days. Who is that? Independent Democratic ruler election. Alpha Minor. She was the captain of one of the ships? No, I don't know who she was. Is there a ship missing a captain? There's not, right? No. Okay, both ships are still there. What about... and the scientists? Random. The ENAC project is stalling yet again, and this time it's not due to Vulcan political pressure. The introduction of the modern technologies implemented for the first time in the NX Light Cruiser class throughout the rest of the fleet has proven difficult. A test run of the new experimental ship Atlantis proved disastrous. The new warp engine subspace bubble collapsed in proximity to the gravity well of Jupiter. The ship sunk to the depths of the gas giant with all souls lost. The Starfleet Corps of Engineers have been having a hard time replicating the ad hoc and jury-rigged changes that the Enterprise crew did to the ship to get the new thrusters working, as well as the new patchwork navigation software for the Duronic computers. It is hoping to send a team of researchers, students, and officers from across Starfleet to study the Enterprise's operation in field conditions. This, however, could prove to be a very complex project indeed, and disrupt all ship work. We don't get to say no, so that's just going to happen, so we're just going to go ahead and get it going. Okay, so after we deal with... that is still on its way there, correct? Yes. The ship is starting the embassy bombing research, and we are on our way to Wolf 359 to investigate the cold station. We will send the fleet back to Earth. The Enterprise will take care of the NX field testing, while Alpha Fleet is being upgraded. So we have our next few steps. It's 11 o'clock, gentlemen and ladies. We'll be wrapping up here in about half an hour, and that'll be our episode 2. Oh, that research is finished, so I can now have a few more ships, which will allow us to add those other ones. I almost have enough here to build one of those light cruisers, and then we'll have the Explorers, more like the NX-01, the Enterprise. We've got our Deep Strike Commandos, Empire Leader. All gonna be... these are for when we invade planets and we aren't anywhere near to going to war with anyone. So I don't need them just yet. I'll get them on one of the next ones. We either need advanced learning or army upkeep. And again, we don't have army issues, so we're going to go with our advanced learning. The Turner isn't doing anything. That one, is that still... okay, see this, it's no longer challenging, it's routine. So we're going to go ahead and have the Turner take care of that. And then when it's done, it can go ahead and come over here. The Turner, thank you. And survey that system. So it's going to do one and then the other. I'm not going to have that build anything just yet, because I want to be able to build one of those light cruisers first. I don't like there not being a ship at Earth, but we'll get that done as soon as we can. Yep, and they're still moving. Oh, unpause the game, it hopes. There we go. That's finished construction. She was, I don't know. Oh, she was the governor of Earth. That's who she was, watch. Yeah, because Nikolai Falcon is now the governor of Earth, and no longer the prime minister of the United Earth. So the prime minister is also dealing with the populace on all of these other locations, and the one dealing with the other foreign dignitaries. But we don't have another colony yet, so... 39 is getting closer to what we'll be able to build the cruiser. Alright, I'm going to bump this back up to normal speed, or to the fastest speed, so the game's going to progress a bit quicker for the last half hour, just so that we can see exactly how far we get. Maybe we'll make contact with one more species before the end of the night. Need something I can spend some of this energy credits on. Okay. After several days analyzing the rubble of the embassy building and questioning identified witnesses, Amy Saxon has concluded that the evidence does indeed point to the Serenites as the perpetrators of the bombing, though the evidence seems almost too strong. However, several chemical traces which link the two materials found in the Vulcan's forge region of the planet, where the Serenites are known to keep a hidden commute, should have decayed within minutes of the blast and be barely detectable now. So do we continue to investigate it ourselves or hand it over to the Vulcan authorities? Well, the problem is it looks like it was staged to look like someone specifically, so we're going to continue to investigate it ourselves. So if there's anything not on the up and up going on, it can be dealt with. And the Franklin has to wait here for the time being. It's still paused because the captain's not there, and without the captain I can't survey planet, so the Franklin's just going to have to wait there in orbit until the captain's done, which is Miss Saxon here. Captain Saxon's investigation has led her to the Vulcan Forge region, where the Serenites are known to keep at least one hidden commune, a vast desert. The Forge is subject to electrical sandstorms and geomagnetic anomalies that interfere with scanning technologies. Progress through the Forge is slow, made more dangerous by the constant threat of Shalit's attack. Shalit's, I think, is like a big lizard on Vulcan, if I remember correctly. Are you guys? Okay. They are here. Oh, having arrived at the research station orbiting Wolf 359, it is quickly apparent that not all is well at the station. Several hull breaches were detected, and a number of bodies float dead alongside the station. As the security team prepares to board the station, proximity alerts trigger. Vessels of an alien design swarm their position on the far side of the station, weapons engaged. Red alert, weapons online. Through hard work, the Admiral has developed new skills, so she just leveled up before the fight started. Now, let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so before we take a look at this fleet, which Alpha, you need to engage on, but we'll deal with that in a second. And we have our station here, which is good. Does it have a... and it has a defensive platform. Fantastic. That's one I'd already built one at. After taking shelter from an electrical sandstorm with a passing Vulcan pilgrim, Captain Saxon has made a remarkable discovery. While referring to himself initially as Arab, the pilgrim is in fact Seren, the leader of the Serenite movement. Of course he is. Professing ignorance of the embassy bombing, he promises to lead the Captain Saxon back to the Serenite compound in the Teknath Sanctuary in order to prove the matter. Understood. Alright, so now the Enterprise and the Fourth Fleet are fighting with these guys right here. I'm going to slow it down to normal speed so we can get a better look at what's going on. And there's the Enterprise. Oops. Alright. Shortly after arriving at the Teknath Sanctuary, Captain Saxon meets a number of the Serenites who, together with Siren, attempt to explain the nature of their movement and how it rejects violence, meaning it will not do violence. A young woman named T'Pau is particularly vocal in her defense of the movement. The debate is interrupted by alarms and the sound of explosions. Looking to the sky, several Vulcan fighters can be seen laying waste to the ground beneath them. The geomagnetic anomalies of the Forge have reduced their accuracy, but not enough to prevent the deaths of many Serenites as they attempted to escape. Siren himself is fatally injured, dying shortly after placing his hands on Captain Saxon's face and muttering, "Remember." Amy Saxon and T'Pau escape together into the cave network. So, it looks like they were being set up to take the fall for something outrageous. The structures on Alpha Centauri B are not as old as we first believed. It seems to be a playground or amusement park of some sort. Science Officer Yin notes that many of the contraptions are highly complex creations that we can learn much from, and that to the builder's alien eyes, this might have been a cutting-edge sensor array or even a gigantic art installation. Regardless, to us humans, it looks mostly like a place where you would take your young and let them amuse themselves. So it was an amusement park, basically. Enterprise is fighting with that alien ship. Or at least it's trying to. It's outpacing it. Oh, and a new faction has recently been gaining traction on the internal political landscape of the United Earth. Led by Prime Minister Kobayashi, they call themselves the Solar Freedom Movement. Their members work for equality and justice for all citizens of our empire. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but one that approves by the government actions could prove useful. Alright. I'll look into that in a minute. There's the enemy ship, and the Enterprise is fighting with it. Captain Saxon has experienced a number of visions following the attack on the Saranite base. Learning that Siren carried the Katra, or soul of Surak, now transferred to herself, the mental toil is heavy. T'Pau reveals the unpining of the Sirenite faith is the Kashara, an ancient artifact said to contain the complete writings of Surak throughout thought lost to time. With the Kashara, T'Pau argues that they can prove the Sirenite's peaceful ways to the Vulcan High Council. Captain Saxon offers her help to locate the artifact. Understood. Let's finish this fight here, and then we'll go take a look on that. There's only one ship left, and it's not doing well. Augmented realities. The enemy fleet which attacked the research station orbiting Wolf 359 has been destroyed. Attempts to recover survivors have proved a number of potential candidates in the wreckage, which must now be investigated. Understood. It's a research project here too. Is it one that I need a scientist for? Pause. Alright, while that's going on, you go and do that, and you search that. The Enterprise is undergoing its own repairs, but it needs to return to Earth. Alright, and the NX Explorer. Oh, and there's a bunch of fancy things here. So we have another ship that's done, and these glowy ones down here mean that they need to be done next, so that's why I'm taking a look. Minefield or a torpedo, or a hull plating relay. We're going to go with the torpedo. And now we're going to take a look at this new ship. So we're going to go back to new design, and there's the NX Class Explorer. We're going to go new section, NX Class, it's in the kind we've got right now, and this is the same as the Enterprise. Then we know section, we've got tactical, engineering, or science. We're going to go tactical, autocomplete. Only type of phaser and only type of torpedo, but we do have some other stuff here. Again, we're not going with the just science. Fusion reactor, science station, we've got one of those. So we might go with a little bit better tracking on it, better evasion, warp speed. We're not looking for that. We'll go with the chance to evade, everything, chance to evade. Yep, we'll go with this, and we'll get some better tracking going on in here. That command station, yep. I'll look at the command station over there. Auto upgrade. And this will be the Columbia. And the Columbia class. We do have enough now to build one of our, let's go to Starbase, go to the shipyard. We don't have enough for the NX Class Explorer, but we will get one of our light cruisers. We'll go ahead and put out the Archer class. That was the normal one, just so that we can add that to the Alpha fleet, which is at Wolf 359 on its way back to Earth. Vulcan Command. Oh, we're making better friends with them. Are they less? Alright. They still don't like them. We'll see if they do after this. Alright. With the Katra of Surak in her mind, Captain Saxon is able to locate the underground monastery where the Karshiara has been kept safe for centuries. A small elongated pyramid with Vulcan writings alongside its faces and the Karshihara shows evidence of containing advanced storage and display technology. T'Pau argues that the only logical course of action now is to present the Karshihara to the Council of Ministers and argue their innocence. Captain Saxton instead suggests that perhaps the Karshiara would be safer off-world, arguing they should locate a shuttle and return to her ship in orbit. So the captain wants to return to the Franklin and take the thing someplace to be safe, and they want to take it to the capital. It seems to me that the ancient Vulcan artifact should stay on Vulcan and just go try and help them there. They're not going to just murder the captain of the Earth vessel to quiet T'Pau. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the capital. Because they're still trying to be friendly with us, and they can't be mad with us, mad with them, and mad with them. The Vulcans wouldn't do well with having nothing but enemies on every side. We don't have really any minerals left while we're waiting for that to finish, but as soon as it's done, we're going to go ahead and build some mines down here. Because I think that I can... Stop it. Thing was lagging on me. No, I can't. Oh, but I can't. No, those two have already been built. I can't build any more mines in this station. It's all everything that's crossed. This game's beginning to lag on me. There we go. Oh, it's at normal speed. Let's get that back going. Got about 15 minutes, and then we'll be wrapping up this episode for the night. The journey from Vulcan's Forge to the capital is long and arduous, but Captain Saxton and T'Pau eventually arrive at the city outskirts. Finding shelter with a Serenite sympathizer, the pair carefully plan their next move to confront the Council with the Karshiara and demonstrate their innocence. So that's what the captain's working with still over here in the Eridani system on Vulcan. That's why the Franklin is still sitting there in orbit. Their plan is success. T'Pau and Captain Saxton have infiltrated the council chambers of the Vulcan High Command and forced those present to bear witness to the Karshiara and the Serenites' claim of innocence. While many were awed by the presence of the Karshiara, Administrator Sitak reacted with uncharacteristic anger and attempted to destroy the artifact and kill T'Pau and Amy Saxton in the process. Rude, so they did try to kill him anyway. Well, just one of them, not all of them. He acted out alone. The United Earth investigator, Captain Saxton, tasked with uncovering the truth of the embassy bombing on Vulcan, has been instrumental in revealing the innocence of the Serenite movement to Vulcan authorities and reclaiming the Karshiara artifact containing the complete writings of Surik. How the Vulcan people absorb and deal with this information now is hard to gauge, but Amy Saxton has completed her task and will be returning to service. Okay, so I've got the Franklin back. Oh. With the revelation to the Vulcan public of the Karshiara and the collection of teachings of Surik, the minority Serenite movement is shown to be an accurate representation of his beliefs, Surik's beliefs. As this new reality is absorbed, Serenites old and new sweep into power. Reflecting the broader changes to Vulcan culture that are about to take place, the Vulcan High Command will be reformed into the Confederacy of Surik. Alright, so they've now moved. Are they more friendly with these guys? Right to Coalition? Nope. They've changed their name, but they still don't like the Tellarites. Alright. Franklin, can we have the... Thank you. We've got her uniform changed because she was gone? She's not wearing a Starfleet uniform anymore. Rude. Pirates are attacking my space. Or where my science ship had been, and now that was. Alright, well, we'll just send the fleet there. Construction ship has encountered hostile pirates and is attempting to evade them. That's this construction ship. A large group of faithless criminals from Earth have illegally converted a number of civilian starships into weapons of war. Operating on the fringes of our space, these heretics have started calling themselves the Death Cabal and responsible for several attacks against civilian shipping lanes. Their profane activities must not be allowed to continue. So they're picking fights. Okay. So let's pause the game real quick. The Alpha Fleet's been fully repaired and is now being refitted. I don't have a good... Oh, I was just surveying. I don't have anything there yet, though. So they're probably going to jump to one of these other systems. Is this the Enterprise? The Enterprise needs to come back to Earth now. Tellarites are closer with us. That's what they're talking about. That's them evading. That's Alpha Fleet finishing repairing. Okay, where is this at? Go to. Okay, where's... Alright, friend. You research that. While you are... Yeah, you finish what you're doing there. That's evading there. Alright, well you're not going to finish the upgrade now. Don't let them attack our ship. Oop, correction. You just go there. You're going to deal with that. Seems that the last few minutes are going to be about this probe right here. We're going to go to normal time. This probe is from the Xindi probe, unknown probe. It's going to attempt to attack the Earth. We have that cruiser finishing construction. Oh, it did. We've got it. It's finished. There it is right there. We've got 1 cruiser and 4 frigates, and the Enterprise is going to be on its way. So they're going to be dealing with that. The Enterprise now can come join the fight. But it's 1 system over, so the Enterprise is going to have to jump over from Wolf 359. So Alpha Fleet's going to be the first to engage that. Nothing else matters right now. I don't care about the pirates. That's going to be able to get away. All they're trying to do is attack my construction ship. It will return to Earth and not be able to get destroyed. And you build the mining stations. Yep, normal speed. The fleet is swinging around. 4 frigates and our light cruiser, and then the Enterprise is en route. I don't have enough to build another cruiser right now, so it's just going to have to deal with this themselves. I do have... It is going to have to cross in front of the space station first, so it will engage the probe before it gets to Earth at least. And it's going to, oops, and here's our fleet combat information, and here it goes. That's one of the frigates, that's one of the frigates. There's the Archer, which is currently acting as the flagship of the fleet until the Enterprise arrives. Oh, I'm going to pause real quick. We have a research that was done. And then we're going to go with bump the speed. The Andorians are now the leader of our coalition. That's fine. Looks like we're almost through the armor of the probe. Yep, damage to armor has been super efficient, and then we're about to be doing damage to the hull. The thing doesn't have any shields. Neither do we, so we don't have shields yet, though. We will. We've just punched through its armor, and now we're going to be trying to hit its hull before it gets to Earth. It's still got a ways before it gets to Earth, so we should be alright. It's now doing damage to the hull. If it cuts through quickly enough, where's the Enterprise at? What's this? Oh, and now the pirates are here. That's fine. Go pick a fight with that space station. We'll see how that goes for you. Oh, the torpedo's been upgraded. Operations. No, we want the hull plating. That gives us better hull rating. So we're going to go ahead and have that one continue research. Yeah, these pirates don't want none of this. My fleet is superior to them, and so is my station. They will lose on either front if they try and start a fight. Starship lost. Contact with the Franklin has been lost while at warp between systems. Scans of the air revealed no sign of the ship. Captain Amy Saxton or her crew. Oh, That's from the movie Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, the Enterprise is on its way. It still hasn't even jumped yet. And I've just lost the... Alright, we're gonna go to Earth real quick then. That's from Star Trek Beyond, what just happened to the Franklin. The Franklin is from Star Trek Beyond, and they're just following that science ship. I need to replace it. I can't only have one operating. And the Turner is currently already on a mission. Go to... This is the Turner that's coming, wasn't. You have to come do this now. The Turner's gonna have to do it because I don't have the extra science ship for the moment. Alright. Yeah, see, the pirates are just trying to go through the system because they can't, excuse me. They can't deal with anything within the Earth system, so they're just running away because I'm busy fighting the probe, otherwise my fleet would have destroyed them. The Enterprise is in, warp on its way here, so it should be joining the fight soon, if the fleet doesn't destroy this thing before the Enterprise even arrives. Let me pause it real quick and see if I can fix this lag that the game's experiencing. Boosting, so that should be fine. Okay. To continue. That seemed to fix it. What happened there? Inactive buildings. Okay, you moved on there. Physics is completed. Science console. Oh, that's theory of gravity. Eventually will lead me to shield. Oh, or shields. Because these need to be done in the order, and these are so much longer, we're just going to do these because we need to get them done so that we can unlock the rest of what we need. Construction ship. Can you finish your fight, please? What are these ones doing? That's just sitting there. It's done everything it needs to, everything it can there. Can you not? No, no more mining stations, no more mining stations, alright. Just return to a... What are you going all the way back there for? No. Oh, because there's enemies there. Just come back to Wolf, or, you know what, just stop. Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at, and I'll take care of that in a moment. Wait until I clear the system. Where is the Enterprise? It is now in the system. It just has to come across and it'll be in the fight. Let's see if the Enterprise gets here before the end of the fight. It's flying across the system now at maximum speed. It's coming from right there. There's the Enterprise. I don't think it's going to make it before this thing gets destroyed, but we'll see. Alpha Fleet has done its job spectacularly. It's getting pretty close to Earth. Probe. Oh, yeah, that science ship. Those ships left. We've encountered some form of alien vessel in our system. These strange objects reflect Heth aliens. Alright, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and investigate them. It's about to be the destruction of that. another alien. Let's go ahead and research those two. So 2 different aliens we ran across. Ooh, let's see if it gets one shot off. It cut off one shot. Sweet. The Enterprise just barely made it to the fight. Oh, and there went the probe. Hadn't even gotten into range of the base 001 or doing anything. We have successfully prevented the alien probe from entering Earth orbit. Preliminary scans of the wreckage indicate the probe carried within it a single-use condensed energy weapon, which, had it fired, would have been capable of destroying a large region of the Earth's surface. So it would have done ridiculous amounts of damage to Earth itself. The Prime Minister administration has planned a series of celebrations to honor the men and women of Starfleet who averted this tragedy. The question now remains, who sent this weapon of mass destruction? Indeed. Oh, the Orions. The Orions are not good guys. They are slaving despots, so they are slaving societies that rely on military expansion to secure a steady supply of slaves for their mines and farms. They prefer to attack the weak and defenseless, so they're bad guys. Yep. And they can enslave aliens, they can purge aliens, and they're militaristic, so we're not going to get along with them. The Teclith are also slavers, so we're not going to get along with them anyway, either. Also militaristics and materialistics. I've stated that we greet them both as equals, because that's the best they're going to get out of us. I'm going to put Alpha Fleet back in orbit around Earth with the Enterprise. Let's pause this. Cold Station should be being researched. The Turner, yep, the Turner's on its way. Oh, and the Fahrenheit. So we have the Turner now in the Fahrenheit. The Fahrenheit's been completed. We lost Captain Saxon, so we're going to have to recruit a new one. Let's go down here. We've got the scientists. They're on research speed. Anomaly research speed, 35%. That's ridiculous. This is who we're going for right here. This is the best one. Prisha Moraine is definitely the best one for that ship. And you are going to Alpha Centauri target, and that has a pirate station. Correction. The Enterprise and the fleet are going to go get rid of these pirates. That's what's going to happen. Oh, and they're attacking Alpha Centauri. Oh, and there is a... I'm going to have to deal with them. Alright, where's the pirates at? They're coming in there. 200, 485. Our space station will destroy that pirate fleet. So I'm not even worried about that. Even without the defensive platform being built, which I will build there shortly. Alright, it is 11:30, ladies and gentlemen, so that's where we're going to call this one. I want to, the Expanse, so we're also going to analyze debris, the other giant ship, so actually the Fahrenheit's going to do that first. Its first thing to do is going to be to research where that probe came from. That's what it does. To determine who has targeted us, we must investigate the wreckage of the alien probe. So I'm going to have that start, and then we'll begin researching that. Have Cold Station start, so those will be the first 2 things researched in the next episode, and we're going to deal with the pirate. It's going to get dealt with here, and then we're going to send the fleet to deal with the pirate station here so that we can continue to survey this system and bring it into United Earth space. So I do want... Oh, and the Teclith are here, and the Orion pirates are here. So they're basically on each border. And where do we sit with the offer association status? They still don't like the Vulcans, so they're still not getting along with the Vulcans. So hopefully in our next episode we'll be able to make a little bit better friends with the Tellarites, and we're going to basically come up with borders on dealing with the Orions and the Telecans, because they are both slavers. So with that, I do again want to thank everybody who came along and who's watched it or watched it later in my my YouTube archive from Twitch. Episode 2 of Star Trek New Horizons. If you have any suggestions or any requests, please go ahead and put them on there, and I will be more than happy to implement them. If you have names for one of the ships, you're more than welcome to put it in, and I'll update it. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you next time on Spider's Sci-Fi Channel.